Hey everybody, John here from Finger Shooting. Today I want to talk to you about how to carry your concealed weapon. And uh, when I first started doing concealed carry, I was a little unsure of which way I felt comfortable, concealing and carrying my weapon out in public. And these are a couple of things that I've noticed, or kind of how I evolved over time in my thoughts and attitudes towards different positions of carrying concealed. So I have and I use a Ruger LCP2 with an extended magazine. It's empty and safe, so I'm always doing this in a safe condition. And it came with this nice pocket holster. And so when I first bought this gun and started using it for concealed carry, I would always carry it around in my pocket, just like this. And even though my jeans are a little bit snug, you can tell it's there I suppose if you're looking for it. Might be pretty noticeable. But I found it's very, very comfortable to carry it this way. You put it in your pocket and you don't even think about it. It's very comfortable. It's not flopping around. It's not digging into your body at all. And so it's actually extremely comfortable. And this is probably the most comfortable position that I found to carry in. And it's actually very concealable, even though it prints a little bit. You might see something's in my pocket. But normally I'd have my cell phone in my other pocket, and that would stick out. And so it just looks like you're carrying a bunch of stuff in your pocket. And that's very nice because, as far as I know, nobody ever, paid attention to, there's something in my pocket there. And so it's very concealable. So the pros are very comfortable, very concealable for pocket carry. The cons for this are, one, it's the slowest to draw. You have to dig into your pocket and carry it out to get it out. So if you really had a quick draw situation, you're really not going to be able to get to it that quickly. And you lose a pocket for putting stuff in. You don't want to put your keys in your pocket or anything else in your pocket because you don't want something to accidentally come in contact with the trigger and pull the trigger on your gun. So if you do pocket carry, please don't put anything else in your pocket. And so that's a con, is that you actually lose a pocket. And because normally I like to carry my cell phone and my keys in two separate pockets so I don't scratch the screen on my cell phone. But if I'm concealed carrying in my pocket, then I have to put my keys and my cell phone in the same pocket and risk the chance of scratching up the screen in my cell phone. So just a thought there. This is a Concealment Express Kydex holster. And I like this little holster. Partly, I like it because it snaps into place, has a nice audible click, and it's pretty secure when it's in there. So I like that. Okay, so let's move to other carry positions. Okay, next you hear a lot about is appendix carry. So snap it in there. And I should say that, with this holster, it has a nice clip here that hooks underneath the belt. This is a plastic piece here, and I thought that plastic piece might be a little weak, not quite heavy duty, but it's actually done a pretty good job. Okay, so let's get back to appendix carry. Appendix carry is actually very concealable. The pros for the appendix carry, it's highly concealable. You put it in there, and if you have a little bit of a belly, it kind of hides the contour of your firearm. And really, it's the fastest draw because you can pull up and be on target in a moment's notice. So that's the beauty of the appendix carry. The cons for the appendix carry is pointing to some very vital organs here. And you have your femoral femoral artery that runs down your leg. And then you also have private parts there, which if you're a guy, you know, you kind of value those and you don't want anything happening to those. At least that's how I feel. Oh, anyway, so that's one of the cons to this. The other con is that, for me anyway, you know, it's not very comfortable. You know, if I'm standing up walking around, you know, it's not so bad. But if I sit down, you know, I have that digging into my leg there, into my abdomen, and that does not feel comfortable. Even if I were to move it over a little bit, no, that still digs into my pelvic area there. So for me, that is not a very good situation. And the other thing to keep in mind is that you have to have extremely good trigger finger control. Because if you accidentally pull the trigger when you're pulling it out, boom, and that would be a bad situation. So, okay, so let's talk about the 4 o'clock position. Maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, depending on what feels comfortable for you. So 3 o'clock being here, 4 o'clock being maybe back here, slightly behind your pelvic bone. And so I'm going to put this baby right down in here. And nice thing about the 4 o'clock position, you know, it's still, you know, pretty easy draw. You could probably do it, you know, one-handed. If someone was approaching you, you could have your hidden hand here and draw your weapon if you had to. Another, you know, it's a safe orientation if you're carrying it. You know, really, it's, you know, facing the ground. The gun is always pointing to the ground. Even if you were to be, you know, sitting down, you know, still pointing right to the ground. And so it's really always pointed in a safe direction, which is, you know, very nice. A couple of cons to it. You know, sometimes it can be a little uncomfortable, especially if you're at the 3 o'clock position. So I don't carry at the 3 o'clock position because it digs right into my pelvic bone right here. And you might have maybe a little bit of mild printing on it. You know, you could probably see a little bulge in my shirt there. But I don't think I've never, as far as I know, nobody's visually seen that have a firearm there. However, I've had, you know, being at church, one of the little old ladies came up to me and, you know, put her arm around me and kind of patted me here. I was like, oh, in my mind I'm thinking, okay, no, she knows I'm carrying. But she never said a word. We just kept on talking, and it never turned out to be a big deal. But so if you're a hugger, you know, just got to be careful with that. Not that it's probably going to be a big deal. Probably isn't. And so out of the carry positions that we've talked about, so far this is the one that is my go-to now. You know, I did pocket carry probably for the first year of concealed carrying, just because it's so comfortable and I was afraid of printing here. But over the past 6 months or so, I've, you know, bought a good holster I like and started carrying here in the 4 o'clock position. Haven't had any problems with it except for one, and I'll get to that in a moment. Alright, so the one time I had an issue with carrying, you know, I was carrying probably right around the 3 o'clock position right here, and I was very new to that, and so I kept kind of messing with it because I didn't want my handle to be printing and sticking out, so I was very self-conscious about it, and I kept trying to maybe mess with the gun, try to get it to move forward, to maybe be canted forward a little bit. And I think what I had done was got it so the clip was off my belt a little bit, and just messing around with it, kind of made it loose to where it was no longer very well situated on my belt. And I got in the car and was driving with my family and had, you know, my seatbelt on, everything. And I think just from walking, and it kind of worked its way off. When I got out of the car, and the seatbelt hung up on it a little bit, this fell off, fell into the parking lot on the ground, and a quick look around and say, whoa, did anybody see this? And grab my gun, put it back, inside the car real quick, and I ended up just leaving it there, locking the car door, and going shopping because I didn't want to mess with it there in the parking lot. So that, to me, I was a little bit embarrassed by that, but I found ever since then, when I put it on, all I do is pull up, make sure the clip is firmly gripping my belt, and then I don't touch it after that. Stand back and just go with it. I do find myself maybe doing this a little bit with my shirt if I sit down and stand up after I stand up, just to make sure it's not printing. I don't know if I need to do that or not. I suppose I'm still a little self-conscious about it, but I just want to, but that's something that I do. So another carry position that I considered was a backside carry. Putting it way in the back at the 6 o'clock position. And tried that a few times. Decided I didn't like it, mainly for a couple reasons. One, if you're sitting down and driving, it's not very comfortable if you have to sit down and drive. It's digging into your back. Another is that it's just hard to get to. It's hard to get back here, and you have to be a contortionist to be able to access your firearm, and that's not good either. So I had this bright idea of maybe I would try backside 6 o'clock position with a left-handed holster. Alright, so I thought I'd try the 6 o'clock position with a left-handed holster, and that would allow the handle to be pointing in a little bit easier way to get to. You see that? The handle points that way. Pull it out. Oops, holster came with it. And turns out I didn't really like this particular holster too. And I'm not going to tell you the name of the company because I don't want to, this isn't really a holster review right now. But I didn't care for this holster and how it fits in. It was very difficult to get it connected. This has a metal clip on it, a really stiff spring on it, so it's not very easy to put on or take off. So anyway, so I found that in general terms the 6 o'clock carry was not very convenient, difficult to reach, and with the holster I bought made it even harder because I couldn't just put it on very easily and take off the gun with the holster very easily. And so one other method that I had tried when I first started carrying was actually using compression shorts. Yay! I won't model these for you, don't worry, you're welcome. But I saw these and I was like, hey, that's a great idea. And so these compression shorts, have a nice holster in the back here you can put your gun into. And so you put it on, slip it in there. And actually I used these and gone biking with them, and it was extremely comfortable and I loved it. And I did this several times until one day I was actually getting ready to go biking. Had my gym shorts on, my compression shorts on, with my gun holstered like this, and it was probably, I was just standing around here at home in the kitchen, and I must have pushed the gun in there a little too far, because I was just standing there, not even walking around, and the gun fell all the way through the holster and just fell out onto the floor. And it was loaded, with one in the chamber, and that kind of made me a little scared a little bit. So if you have a pocket gun, So if you have a pocket gun, I would not recommend using compression shorts. Unless you figured out a different way, a safer way to keep it in there. Because a pocket gun is just too small on one of these pairs of compression shorts. So a couple other tips. One thing I like to do is I always like to wear dark t-shirts because that can kind of blend in and hide the gun a little bit if you happen to have an accidental exposure. And sometimes, you know, maybe wearing a patterned shirt, maybe a plaid or striped shirt might hide any printing a little bit too. So if that's something else that you're concerned about, you could also consider these two items as well, using a dark t-shirt underneath or using a shirt with a pattern on it to help hide any evidence of printing. So, well, those are my thoughts on different carry positions. I hope you find this video helpful. And if you do, smash that like button and subscribe if you want to. I put out videos once in a while, and it's for fun, just things I'm learning along the way. I'm just somebody who enjoys guns and shooting and hunting. So I like to post about things that I enjoy here. So I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.